Anderson's a lot like me. He's his own worst enemy, and he'll do what he has to do because he loves his business, and he wants a shot at that TNA World Heavyweight Championship. But I saw Ken Anderson wrestle last week. He's in no condition for that match. As long as I'm breathing, that match is not taking place.
The whole business suffered because of what you did. Every company in wrestling had to suffer what you started. You didn't have the balls or the skill to be a man.
I know I've been part of the problem. Give me a chance to be part of the solution.
A solution is kiss my ass.
No, put it down. I'm not gonna let Ken Anderson make the mistakes that I've made.
You're living off of the corpses and the injuries and the people that you forced to try to keep up with you, and that's what you get to live with, and you ain't stopping any match in this company or anywhere else.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please welcome the hardcore legend, Mick Foley. On the eve of New Year's Eve, we welcome you to an Impact broadcast that, yes, kicks off with the entrance of the one and only Mick Foley. And last week, so surprised to see Foley's return to the Impact Zone, and showing concern for the controversial situation involving the head trauma suffered by Mr. Anderson. Yet when Foley tried to warn a mortal about the long-term effects of concussions, Eric Bischoff, Ric Flair, they blamed the hardcore legend himself for changing the landscape of this industry.
Thank you, and very happy holidays to everyone out there. Unfortunately, the situation I have on my mind tonight is not particularly happy. With that in mind, I'd like to call out a man I know, like to consider a friend. Can I speak to Mr. Ken Anderson, please?
Mr. Anderson, scheduled to face Matt Morgan January the 9th at Genesis in the #1 contenders match for the TNA World Heavyweight Champion Jeff Hardy. But we still haven't seen that Anderson has been officially medically cleared, even though Anderson himself has claimed repeatedly he's okay.
Well, Mike, the jury is still out on Anderson's condition. We saw Anderson in a tag team match recently, and I'll tell you, he did not look 100%.
Ken, I appreciate that. I have a feeling the subject matter is going to dictate that things may get contentious between the two of us. But before that happens, I'd like to refresh your memory with a little story about how we met, okay? This is going back a few years, and you and I knew each other. We nodded hello, right? But we didn't really know each other. But we found ourselves in the room of an injured service member with Miss America. So it's Ken Anderson, Mick Foley, and Miss America in the same room, and I think...
And you held her box.
I held Miss America's box. Thank you. It had to be pointed out. Now, I'm not a mind reader, but I think what Miss America meant to say in that room with the injured service member was, hey, why don't you guys take a picture of me and this soldier, and then I'll take a picture with both of you and this soldier. But that's not what she said, was it? What Miss America said to us in the room was, why don't you guys do me first, and then I'll do both of you together. Before saying, I'm not sure that came out the right way.
Maybe it did.
The point is, Ken, you and I, from that point on, we had a bond together, right? We know the nature of the wrestling business. It's a rocky road. We got the bond. I want you to know what I'm going to say to you comes right from the heart, and it's very personal to me, all right? The biggest lie that I've ever told in my life, and I told it over and over and over the course of my career, was, I'm okay. I'm okay. What I needed a long time ago was somebody to get up in my face and say, you're not okay, Mick. You're not okay. So I'm that guy, Ken Anderson, saying, hey, clearance letter or no clearance letter, I'm saying title or no title shot, you're not okay. And if you can't do it for yourself, think of your family, Ken. I mean, you've got a beautiful wife. Somewhere down the road, I know there's going to be a couple little assholes running around. Ken, as somebody who likes you and someone who respects you and someone who shares a bond over Miss America with you, I'm telling you, you don't want to be looking in the face of a guy like Matt Morgan, looking up to Matt Morgan. He's a dangerous man, and he's looking out for your best interest. But if you don't cooperate, hey, I'm telling you that I'm doing you a favor by saying, think twice, man, because you don't look okay to me.
Mick, I thank you, okay? I thank you. I've thanked Matt Morgan. I thank all these people. It would be, you know what, if I explained to you how much respect I have for you, it would sound cliche. Everybody said it. I respect you, Mick, and I respect your opinion. However, I find it offensive that you're doubting me, that you're basically calling me a liar. No, you are calling me a liar. I've been tested, I've been checked out, and I've been mentally cleared to compete in this ring against Matt Morgan.
I'm not calling you a liar, Ken. All I'm saying is you lack the foresight to look off into the future. You want to look at the future? Look at me. Look at a guy who said he was okay, who was cleared when he may or may not have been.
And I appreciate you setting the bar all the way up here.
Look, I knew what I was getting into when I was diving off ring aprons in the late 1980s. And I live with the effects, man. And I walk like I'm a guy twice my age. And the truth is, since I slipped on the Skechers shape-ups, I'm feeling a little bit better. But here's the deal, Ken. There's no Skechers shape-up for your brain. Once you mess that up, you mess it up for good.
No, here's the deal. You're not listening to me, and you're still calling me a liar. And there's an old saying that if you can't get along, then get it on.
And speaking of getting it on, here comes Mr. Anderson's opponent at Genesis. And while Matt Morgan was the first person to step up to the plate for Anderson, even to the point that he lost his spot with Immortal, you have to wonder if the Blueprint may be losing patience with Ken Anderson.
Well, speaking of patience, I mean, and Mr. Anderson has no patience for anyone who doubts his condition. Real sensitive.
So what's it going to be at Genesis, Ken? Is this going to be a match between two great athletes trying to be the best? Or is this another Anderson con game? Because to be honest with you, Ken, no disrespect, man, from the heart here. One of the very first things I learned in this sport is what? You just can't trust anybody. You can't. And it's a sad state of our business, but it is the truth at the end of the day. But I want to make one thing very clear to you, Ken. Come Genesis, and that bell does sound, it's going to be on. And whether you're 50% or 100%, it will make no difference to me at that point, because I don't have a choice. I have no choice but to go through you. And then on to the TNA World Heavyweight Championship.
Con? You say con? Is this going to be another Mr. Anderson con? Do you forget who you're dealing with here, Matt? I'm an asshole. That's what I do. And whether I have to con you, Mick, anybody else, I'm going to do whatever it takes to get through you to get to Jeff Hardy. You know what? Obviously, you're not hearing me. You're not hearing me. You're not freaking hearing me. So you know what? If you want, we don't have to wait till Sunday.
Really?
Hey, come on, come on. Come on, that's not enough. Come on. Oh, come on, no.
Maybe
Just when it looks like Morgan and Anderson are going to square off. We're interrupted by the TNA World Heavyweight Champion, who's been so masterful with his mind games. Oh, you know Jeff Hardy loves to stir the pot when it comes to Matt Morgan and Mr. Anderson.
Look, I'm glad to see that everybody's getting along. And Ken, thanks for the credit, man, but you deserve the award in all of this. I was the one that gave you a concussion, hit you with that steel chair. And if I would have wanted to have hurt you permanently, I could have, but I chose not to because I'm a professional. I know exactly what I'm doing. Ken, you are 100% right now, so you are ready. You're ready to fight. Matt, so are you. So here's what we do tonight. You guys are going to be on the opposite teams in a tag team match. And I have selected your partners wisely. So you guys have a great match, tear the house down, and I'll see you two at Genesis.
Who the bongers?
I don't know. But what we're witnessing is the power of our TNA World Heavyweight Champion, Jeff Hardy, and the power of a mortal. Stir it up again, Jeff Hardy. Now Anderson and Morgan, they have to face each other tonight in a tag match. But just like Taz asked, who are their tag team partners going to be?
Thou shalt travel the mountain, and the bush shall speak to me, and he said, thou shalt have booze. Thou shalt have donuts. Thou will have the greatest party of all.
Whoa, Eric, what are you talking about? What are you doing?
This is how I get ready to party.
Look,
This is what I do.
what's all these commandment stuff? You know, your father time, okay?
I'm Moses.
No, your father time, and look.
Father Moses.
I'm Baby New Year.
Baby Sumo New Year. Baby Sumo New Year. Is that a Japanese tradition or something?
Look, this is our party.
Right.
This is our party, our
Yeah.
New Year's party, our first New Year's party.
It's gonna be awesome.
As a couple.
Yeah, it's the best tag team ever.
Yeah.
I bet you we're gonna get a PWI.
You know, is that a mistletoe?
No, it's my mom sends me this stuff from her garden once a month, and I just try to utilize it in some of my costumes that I wear during the week.
Anyway, just look, you got the list?
Yeah, they're all set out. Why don't we finish getting ready, and I'm gonna warm up.
Sounds good.
Thou shalt have booze. Thou shalt eat pizza.
Tonight on Impact, the TNA Knockouts are tied together in a strap match when Velvet Sky faces Sarita one-on-one.
Also, Double J, Double M-A challenge. I love this thing.
And as we just heard from Jeff Hardy, Matt Morgan and Mr. Anderson on separate teams tonight facing each other. Who has Hardy personally selected as their partners? We'll find out tonight on Impact. The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing, first of all, accompanied to the ring by his tag team partner, James Storm. He is one half of Beer Money, Robert Roode. Taz, let's take everybody back 7 days to Impact from last week when the unique 8-man tag between Team Beer Money and Team Motor City Machine Guns was for the Guns TNA World Tag Team title.
Well, the Machine Guns were able to retain their tag team titles when Saban captured the victory on Beer Money's Robert Roode.
And now, introducing their opponent. First of all, he is one half of the TNA World Tag Team Champions, accompanied to the ring by Alex Shelley. He is Chris Saban. And that deadline that Taz talked about is our Genesis pay-per-view event. Confidence has to be on the side, though, of Chris Saban in this singles matchup, coming off the victory over Robert Roode last week in the 8-man tag, but then at the same time, Taz, you think of the motivation.